Salam alaikum. Aujourd'hui, inshallah, on va faire the present simple tense. So, what is the present simple tense? Is one of the most common tenses. What is common tenses? It means le temps le plus utilisé. Le temps اللي نستعملوه بزاف في حياتنا اليومية، سواء في الهضرة سواء في الكتابة. So, quand est-ce qu'on l'utilise? وقتاش نستعملوه? We use the present simple tense for describing. What is describing? Describing c'est الوصف. For example, she is beautiful. هي جميلة. Elle est belle. Here I use the present simple tense. Le verbe to be est au présent simple. On ne peut pas dire كانت شابة, but she is beautiful. هي جميلة. We use also the present simple tense for general truth. Ça veut dire une vérité générale. حقيقة مطلقة. وش معناتها هذه؟ Ça veut dire une chose qu'on ne peut pas changer. Impossible de changer. For example, the earth is round. الكرة الأرضية كروية. Est-ce qu'on peut dire الكرة الأرضية كانت كروية? On ne peut pas. هي toujours كروية. That's why I use the present simple tense. 3. I use also this tense for repeated actions. Des actions qui se répètent. Des actions qui s'arrêtent chaque fois. For example, I pray 5 times a day. أنا أصلي 5 مرات في اليوم. هادوما c'est repeat actions, des actions qui se répètent à chaque fois. I use also the present simple tense when I give information. For example, my father is a doctor. My mother is a teacher. Now, let's talk about the forms. Concerning the forms, we have got 3 forms. We have got the affirmative form, the negative form, and the interrogative form. On va les voir aujourd'hui. Now, let's start with the affirmative form, la forme affirmative. So, la forme affirmative, pardon. Here we start with verb to be. Verb to be, for example, I say, she is slim. Look here, the verb is conjugated in the present simple tense. Here, this is affirmative form. Okay, with verb to be. For example, they are pupils. Here, with verb to be also. With verb to have, for example, I have a nice doll. عندي une belle poupée, j'ai une belle poupée. Okay, here I use verb to be in the present simple tense. For example, he has a nice car. A nice car. Okay? With the other verbs, les autres verbes, here is another thing. Well, for example, I like English. They play football. Here with verb to be, with verb to have, here with the other verbs. Okay, and we are going to see how to conjugate the verbs in the present simple tense. Here we conjugate the verb to like. For example, I like, you like, she likes, he likes, it likes, we like, and they like. Notice that with she, he, and it, we add an S at the end of the word. Now let's take another verb, which is verb to play, le verbe jouer, ألعب. I play, أنا ألعب, you play, أنت تلعب, or أنت تلعبين. Okay? She plays, here I add an S, like, he plays, an S, it plays. Here I use it for things and animals. We play and they play. The same thing with she, he and it. I add an s at the end of the word. Now let's take another verb, which is verb to study. Like I study, you study, she studies, he studies, he studies, it studies, and we study, they study. Notice that with she, he, and it, I write IES. Why I write here IES? Because, well, listen to me. When we come back to the verb to play, when we have a vowel, such as voyelle, how many vowels have we got in English? We have got A, O, I, and U. When we have a vowel before Y, we keep the Y, ça veut dire on garde le Y, et on ajoute juste le S. But, mais, lakin, when we have a consonant here before Y, I omit the Y. Omit, ça veut dire نحي, أحذف. I omit the Y and I write IES. That's why. And this is the rule when the verbs and with Y. Now, let's take the verb to go. The verb to go, ça veut dire le verbe partir, le فعل يذهب. I go, أنا أذهب, you go, أنت تذهب, or أنت تذهبين. She goes. Look here, I don't add an S. No, I have to add ES. And it becomes goes. This is the rule. On ne peut pas ajouter que le S, sinon il dit goes. Impossible. He goes. It goes. We go. And they go. Let's focus on the negative form. Negative form, in Arabic, when we hear the word negative, it means nafi. Here, we start with verb to be. Quand on a un verbe to be, le verbe to be, c'est le verbe être en français. Okay? For example, she is, and here I have to add not. I have to add not. She is not, for example, British, like. Here, they are not. They are not Algerians. For example, they are not Algerians. Okay. Notice that I use not between verb to be and the noun. Here not, I use after verb to be. Now with verb to have. Verb to have. With verb to have, for example, she has not. She has not a doll. Elle n'a pas de poupée. Elle n'a pas de poupée. ما عندهاش Doll veut dire poupée, dumia. Okay? Here, for example, I have not a cell phone. I have not a cell phone. Ça veut dire je n'ai pas de portable. Okay? Je n'ai pas de portable. Here, I use here. It's with verb to be and with verb to have. And now we are going to see with the other verbs. Here with negative form, I have to use the auxiliary do or does. Listen here. With I, you, we, and they, I use do not or don't. With she, he, and it, I use does not or doesn't. I will give you examples. For example here, I don't like I don't like horror films. You don't like, je n'aime pas les films d'horreur. لا أحب أفلام الرعب. You don't like horror films. They don't like or do not like the same thing. They do not like horror films. And here, don't is the abbreviation of don't, do not. The same thing. Don't or do not is the same thing. Now, with she, here we have got, for example, likes horror films. Here I write she. Normally I say don't. But as we have s, I omit the s and the s comes here. Sorry, I write here she. And it becomes she doesn't. She doesn't. The same thing here. He does not. He does not like horror films. So the S of this, we omit it and it comes here. And it becomes doesn't like. Okay? Like this. For example, we have got this example. I don't, with verb study, I don't study Chinese. You don't study Chinese. She doesn't study Chinese. He doesn't study Chinese. It doesn't study Chinese. We don't study Chinese. They don't study Chinese. Notice here, again and again, encore et encore, with she, he, and it. It's different. Now let's start with the interrogative form. Here, we have seen with the affirmative form with verb to be. For example, she is slim. Do you remember? She is slim. She is slim. Full stop. This is the affirmative form. With the interrogative form, I have to write verb to be first. And then it becomes Is she slim? Question mark. Okay? Is she slim? Do you remember with the sentence, they are pupils? It becomes, are they pupils? Question mark. It means that I have to start by, I have to start by to be in the present simple tense, subject, and then the rest of the sentence plus question mark. Okay, so here I write is or am or are plus subject plus the rest of the sentence plus the question mark, and this is the rule. Concerning verb to be. Concerning verb to have, here for example with verb to have, for example I say have, I start with verb to have you a doll? Est-ce que tu as une poupée? Est-ce que عندك دمية? Okay, I start here with I have, and then subject plus the rest of the sentence plus question mark. For example, she has a nice car? Has she a nice car? Question mark. The same thing. Has or have. So has or have plus subject plus the rest of the sentence plus question mark. Concerning the other verbs, for example, she likes music, like here, she likes music. Here, subject, verb, this is direct object, and this is the affirmative form, la forme affirmative. Concerning interrogative form, look here, we have got an S, okay? So you have to use, I write subject she. Here I enter the auxiliary does. Normally here I use she do. Sorry here. I start by auxiliary does. Does she like music? Question mark. So what is the S of like? The S of like is omitted, and it goes with auxiliary do, and it becomes does, like this. Here I have another example. This is the affirmative form interrogative. Here just to show you how to formulate the interrogative form of a sentence. For example, you play football. Look here, you play football. This is affirmative form. This is just an example, okay? Now, here we have got the subject, verb, you play what? You play football, so it's direct object. How to formulate the interrogative form? Here I have to write to interfere auxiliary do. Do you like? Do you play? Do you play football? Question mark. Here we have got do you play football? So here to formulate the interrogative form, I have to use auxiliary do or does, it depends. As I told you, with she, he and it we use does, and with I, you, we and they we use do, plus subject, plus a stem, plus the rest of the sentence, plus question mark. So what is a stem? A stem, ça veut dire un verbe qui n'est pas conjugué. Un verbe qui n'est pas conjugué. Here, does she like? This is stem verb qui n'est pas conjugué. Okay, you play football, the same thing. Here, for the interrogative form, I always use all the verbs are not conjugated. Why here? Why here? Because here it's with auxiliary de. That's why. So let's practice this activity, this task. I put the verbs in the right form. Hein? Je mets les verbes à la forme correcte. My name, here we have got verb to be. My name is, mon nom est. My name is Lina. I to be 13 years. What do we say? To be, I am 13 years old. I study at 1st November school. My brother likes. My brother likes. Because I can replace my brother by the pronoun he, football. But me, I, here we have got negative. I don't like it. I don't like it. La vidéo est terminée. N'oubliez pas de partager, de like et d'abonner. Au revoir.